What if I told you the team that once trusted the process might now be trapped in the saddest process we've ever seen? The Philadelphia 76ers, a franchise that once believed Joel Embiid was going to carry them to glory, could now be sitting on the most depressing roster situation in the league. But here's the kicker. They might also secretly be one of the scariest teams in the NBA if things go right. This is the paradox of the Sixers, super sad or super scary. And today, we're going to break it all down. Segment 1, the Embiid Mirage. A few weeks ago, Sixers social media absolutely lost its mind. Why? 2 photos of Joel Embiid looking slim, and a 5-second video clip of him on the court without a knee brace. That's all it took. Philly fans flooded the internet with hope. On paper, it made sense. Embiid finally looked healthy, and if the Sixers got their MVP back in an Eastern Conference that's wide open, maybe they could finally make a run at the finals. But then came the bombshell. Embiid finally spoke to reporters. Instead of setting expectations for his return, he flat out said, "There is no timetable." Think about how crushing that is. You see the man working out, you see him looking better than he has in years, and then he tells you he's not even sure when he'll play basketball again. And let's be real, this isn't new. Embiid's career has always been about injuries. Even in his MVP season in 2023, he missed chunks of time. Since that MVP trophy, he has played just 58 games in 2 years. 58 factorial. That's barely a single season's worth of basketball. At age 30, the whispers are getting louder. Is Joel Embiid's career already close to over? For Sixers fans, that is the darkest thought imaginable. Segment 2, the curse of the second max contract. Now, as if one broken max contract wasn't enough, Philly doubled down, literally. They gave Paul George a massive deal to join Embiid, and almost immediately, disaster struck. George's knee injury robbed him of his explosiveness, his ability to attack defenders, even his shooting rhythm. Anyone who has watched PG knows he's one of the smoothest scorers in the league. But the tape doesn't lie. He just couldn't get by people anymore. Then came the offseason, another setback, and, you guessed it, no timetable for return. So now the Sixers have 2 max players who can't play basketball. This is like ordering 2 main courses at a fancy restaurant and watching both of them fall on the floor before you take a bite. In the NBA, this is the nightmare scenario. Superstars on max deals aren't just players, they're your future. And when those guys can't get on the floor, your entire franchise is handcuffed. Segment 3. History repeats itself. If you're thinking, this feels familiar, you're right. We've seen other teams make massive bets at exactly the wrong time. Think back to the 2013 Brooklyn Nets. They traded away the farm for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. On paper, that looked like a super team. In reality, those guys left their best years back in Boston. Brooklyn collapsed, and the ripple effects kept them in basketball purgatory for nearly a decade. Or the Washington Wizards in 2017. John Wall and Bradley Beal looked like the future. Feisty, tough, even took Boston to 7 games in the playoffs. The Wizards gave both huge deals. Wall's injuries turned his contract into one of the worst in the league, and Beal never lived up to carrying a contender. That franchise has been irrelevant ever since. Now it feels like Philly is on that same cliff. Did they sign Joel Embiid and Paul George at the exact moment their careers imploded? It's like investing in Blockbuster right before Netflix drops, or flexing your gigantic CD collection right when Spotify comes out. You don't realize it in the moment, but history looks back and laughs. Segment 4. The one ray of light. And yet, in the middle of this gloom, there's one player holding the franchise together, Tyrese Maxey. At 24 years old, Maxey is already an all-star. But more than that, he's becoming a true leader. When asked about the Sixers' identity, listen to what he said. "We need a standard. Like, this is who we are every single day. No matter who plays, no matter who doesn't play, when you see Philadelphia 76ers, this is what you see. You're going to see that team every single night. That's not just a nice soundbite. That's a young player stepping up and demanding accountability from an organization drowning in uncertainty. Philly is so lucky to have Maxey. He plays hard, he plays fast, he plays fearless, and he's not alone. The Sixers actually have some young talent worth getting excited about. Number 3 pick VJ Edgecombe, rookie sharpshooter Jared McCain. These guys aren't going to be stars tomorrow, but they bring energy and depth that past Sixers rosters never had. Segment 5, the Quentin Grimes saga. But of course, this being Philly, there has to be drama. Enter Quentin Grimes. Grimes' career has been a roller coaster. A 5-star recruit, went to Kansas, struggled, transferred to Houston, fought his way back into draft boards. The Knicks gave him a shot, but he bounced around. And just when it looked like he might fade into irrelevance, Grimes exploded last season. A 44-point night against Golden State, followed by a 46-point game against Houston. Over the final 6 weeks, he averaged 26 points per game. Not a fluke, a legit breakout. So naturally, he expected to get paid. Instead, the Sixers lowballed him with a 4-year, $39 million offer. That's bench player money for a guy putting up star numbers. Negotiations fell apart, and now Grimes might walk in free agency. Why lowball him? Because Philly's salary cap is already clogged with 2 broken max contracts. They literally can't afford another risk. It's a lose-lose situation. Segment 6, the saddest or the scariest. So here's where Philly stands. Their MVP has no timetable to return. Their new co-star is already breaking down. Their breakout young scorer might leave over money. Their franchise history says this ends badly. That's the saddest possible outcome. But what if the stars align? Imagine Embiid actually coming back healthy, looking like the best big man in the East. Imagine Paul George recovering enough to be a true two-way wing, spacing the floor, locking down opponents. Imagine Tyrese Maxey running the offense, fearless and electric. Imagine Edgecombe, McCain, and Grimes providing depth and scoring. Suddenly, this isn't a sad team at all. It's terrifying. A big 3 of Embiid, George, and Maxey could be unstoppable. Add depth, add shooting, add leadership, and Philly goes from laughingstock to finals contender in the blink of an eye. That is the paradox. The Sixers might be the saddest team in the NBA, but they also might be the scariest. Segment 7, the Kyle Lowry symbolism. Oh, and one last note. Did you see the thumbnail of this video? That's Kyle Lowry sitting there looking sad. He kind of embodies this whole vibe. Lowry isn't even going to play much this season. In fact, the Sixers already announced he's taking a media role with Amazon Prime, kind of like Draymond with TNT. That's where we are. A former all-star guard on the roster mostly to talk about games, not play in them. Segment 8, the bigger picture. If you zoom out, Philly's story isn't unique. The NBA is filled with teams walking that line between sadness and scariness. The New Orleans Pelicans are another example. Zion Williamson shows up to Media Day looking motivated and slim every year. But this time, maybe it's different. Maybe. That's the cruel part of sports. Sometimes hope is the saddest thing of all. Closing music fades in. So what do you think? Are the Sixers doomed to be the saddest NBA team ever? Or is this the season where everything finally clicks and Philly shocks the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the NBA's wildest stories.